Okay, hello everyone. Firstly, I'd like to say a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone who's watching from wherever you are currently. Okay, so welcome to my Market Talk episode 2, where we discuss about what is trending and what's upcoming in the latest market buzz. Okay, so today I'd like to discuss about Grab latest acquisition of Transcab. So, who is Grab? Grab is actually Southeast Asia's largest taxi sort of like a mobility gig um, operator, all right, similar to Uber and Kuaishou Didi in China. Okay, so and who is Transcab? Okay, so Transcab is actually located in Singapore. Okay, so you can see here. All right, Transcab started humbly as a privately owned business in 2003, starting with 50 taxis in Singapore and growing to a current number of 2,500 fleet of taxis. Okay, its competitor, who is actually listed in the Singapore Stock Exchange, is ComfortDelGro. Okay, ComfortDelGro has the largest taxi fleet in Singapore. Locally, it has 8,800 taxis. Okay, compared to just Transcab with only 2,500. All right, so now you can see the relativity here. And it has a revenue of 3.7 billion. Okay, so ComfortDelGro has a revenue of 3.7 billion dollars in 2022. Okay, with a market capitalization as of today of over 2.71 billion dollars Singapore dollars. All right, and this is about 1.2 times price to its uh, last year's 2022 revenue. Okay, so what we know here is that Gojek, okay, which is a competitor of Grab, okay, has announced a partnership with ComfortDelGro in November 2022. Here you can see the media release. All right, and this Gojek and ComfortDelGro's venture is just a partnership and not an outright acquisition. Okay, so this reason for this partnership is because Gojek wanted to meet its driver to customer demand supply shortage. Okay, so currently they have a shortage of drivers. So to fulfill the demand, Gojek has approached ComfortDelGro to um, partner with them so that they can meet the demand, the customer higher demand ever since COVID was lifted. Okay, so currently there are more tourists in Singapore. There are more people actually going back to taking taxis again. So to meet that demand supply, they have to make a partnership. So Transcab partnered with the largest um, taxi fleet in Singapore. All right, ComfortDelGro. Okay, so one thing is that for such mobility apps to be sustainable, they require a very sustainable supply of drivers. So this is very critical. Once there's a driver shortage, their service levels become very poor, and then people will start to shift to other apps, other competitor apps, to book to flag for taxis. Okay. So what happened was Grab's recent acquisition. All right, it follows suit uh, to compete with Gojek. Okay, because Gojek is a direct competitor for the Southeast Asia market. So Grab follows suit with an outright acquisition of Transcab. Okay, and then they just announced the completion of the deal in July 2023, which is this month. All right, and they paid around US dollars, I think about 100 over million, which is undisclosed. All right, for 100% stake. So to me, I think Grab deal with Transcab appears to be a good deal. All right, it appears to be a good deal at an estimated of 0.41 times its estimated revenue for Transcab. Okay, so I think based on that 100 million paid for a 100% stake, I think Grab made quite a good offer to take over this 2,500 fleet of taxis. All right, but however, I think that Grab has come up a bit too late and should have partnered with ComfortDelGro instead for an outright acquisition. But why I think that they did not went up to ComfortDelGro is because I think previously uh, Grab did when Grab first started. Okay, Grab did approach ComfortDelGro to work on a initial partnership. That means that was before Grab was actually listed in the US stock exchange. So Grab just started out as a startup, but ComfortDelGro declined that offer. So Grab grew by itself, and then now to what Grab it is today. Okay, so I think that's why Grab didn't. Maybe that's why Grab didn't make that move to approach ComfortDelGro again. So ComfortDelGro in the end worked with Gojek. So I think okay that by Grab as the currently now is just following the competition. The competitor Gojek seemed to have made a smarter move by working with the largest operator in Singapore. Okay, and then they did not actually acquire, so they are still asset light. While Grab, I think after acquisition, they will have to manage the assets and liabilities of Transcab. Okay, we'll take a look more in depth into this issue later. Okay, so so I think that fortunately, Grab has a large war chest of cash at around $4.9 billion as of the last quarter's earnings announcement. Okay, so at $4.9 billion, I think they're still very cash rich, and 100 billion is not a lot of money compared to their huge war chest, right? But my question is, how many acquisitions can Grab do in other countries that they're operating in? Currently, they're operating in Thailand, Indonesia. How many types of acquisitions? How many acquisitions can they do? In order to sustain the talent pool, the current pool of talent for drivers, right? So if they do an acquisition, I believe a competitor will also do so. They will make a move as well. So by doing so, I think it's like a commodity. It becomes like a commodity, right? So by taking on a business of 100%, okay, like I said earlier, they will have to manage the assets and liabilities of Transcab efficiently and effectively. And why I believe that Grab is trying to do so currently is because, of course, they want to hit EBITDA break even by end of this year, right? So by doing so, I think Grab is trying to solve a short-term problem by taking on a long-term burden by acquiring a business that is privately owned, and now they have to manage their business. I'm not sure if they still have the current old board of directors inside that company. This has not been announced yet how the structure is going to be like. But what I think is they are currently taking on a larger burden by solving a shorter term problem, which is to maybe uh, compete with Gojek in terms of the driver pool talent, as well as trying to hit EBITDA break even as soon as possible. So, ComfortDelGro in 2022 net profit margin is around 5.7%, and I estimate the net profit margin of a smaller player to be like Transcab to be around a single digit range, right? So with smaller margins to work with, also, I think Grab will need to fully allocate its resources and technology to ensure that Transcab can surpass ComfortDelGro in terms of its profitability. So I'm not sure if Transcab can surpass ComfortDelGro in terms of profitability because they are privately owned. All right, but I mind you that ComfortDelGro currently not only operates in Singapore, it has fleets in other parts of the world too. So I'm not sure how can Transcab compete in that sense in terms of a bigger player out there, right? Okay, so the question is, do you think that it is profitable and sustainable for a long-term strategy in the ride-hailing gig industry overall? Uh, through this style of acquisitions, like how Grab now acquired Transcab, and then how Gojek actually worked with ComfortDelGro. Okay, so for me, I don't really think it's very sustainable industry-wise. Okay, so for Grab, I don't think there's a visible moat as well, as the whole industry actually relies heavily on snatching drivers from one another by offering higher incentives. Okay, so any competitor can do so easily with relatively low barriers. But of course, I think that the plus point here is that it appears that Grab has paid a fair value, okay, for this deal. Okay, now, this is what I think is the only plus point, all right, that Grab has managed to pay a fair value for this deal. But whether Grab can actually integrate and further value add to the Transcab business into the Grab family of businesses still remains to be seen. Okay, so I think that Grab's current valuation versus its peers in Indonesia, China, and US is still rather expensive. Okay, this is despite Grab's valuation already fallen off its IPO highs of more than 50%. Okay, so because of this, even at current prices, I will not invest. Okay, at this moment, until I see more concrete evidence in the industry. Okay, for real sustainable profitability. So currently, even at $3 and up, okay, it's come up already to the its highs of 340. I think previously we went as low as $2.90. So at that price as well, at $2.90, to me is still expensive. So unless I see the fair value at around $1 at current fundamentals. All right, if the current fundamentals are in place, I think at $1 will be a good deal. But I don't think they will fall to $1 at such circumstances, because people are very hopeful that they will be EBITDA positive by end of this year. So, being said that, okay, I'd like you guys to share your comments below on what do you think of this acquisition. All right. So, till then, I'll see you again for the next market update. And good luck for the win. And let's hope to make more money, all right, from the market. See you guys. Bye.